morning, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing fine. I hope everything is great with you. It's Monday morning, of course, guys. Welcome aboard the stream, guys. I hope. Welcome aboard the gravy train, as they say. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Please, before I start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video, all that lovely stuff, guys. Let's get straight into the news, shall we? Absolutely. Let's go on to Manchester United. In regards to our quest for Elliot Anderson. Now, things are heating up in regards to this transfer. It is deemed that Wilcox, Vivell and Berardi are obsessed with getting this deal over the line. Now, there was reports that Manchester United may put a bid in for Elliot Anderson in January. As we know, Elliot Anderson was absolutely fantastic at the weekend against Man United, and some may say dominated the midfield, guys, and that is a little bit embarrassing when we're talking about Manchester United, isn't it? Elliot Anderson has showed Manchester United that, you know what, it's not just about talk, it's just not about hype, it's not about, you know, fashionable names and things like that. It's about performing when it matters. And to be honest with you, I was very impressed with Elliot Anderson at the weekend, and I'm sure you guys were as well. Manchester United are looking to put a bid in January for Elliot Anderson. Do I think it will materialise? It's going to be very difficult, considering that Nottingham Forest are in Europe. They are in Europe, and of course, they won't want one of their, if not their most prized asset to leave Manchester United midway through the season. Although Manchester United could arrange a deal in principle for Elliot Anderson that could be completed by the summer. Now, the biggest problem, obviously, as we know, we all know what the problem is, isn't it? It is the price tag. It's not about the price tag. It is absolutely about the price tag with this one, absolutely. And the monies is going to be quite a lot. And to be honest with you, we're looking at 80 to 100 million for Elliot Anderson. Now, look, guys, I know that Elliot Anderson's a marvellous player. He's a fantastic player. He's an extraordinarily good player at the moment. But 80 million is a little bit steep, and we have to be realistic with this. I'm not a flip-flop. I don't flip-flop. I've said that from the beginning. I don't think a player coming from Nottingham Forest should be worth 80 million. I just don't believe that, because when you're thinking about the likes of Spain, you're thinking about the likes of Italy, for example. If a player was playing for Real Sociedad in Spain and their prize asset wouldn't be worth 80 million, it would go for 40 to 50 million at minimum, of course, guys. Absolutely. So that is what we're talking about. We don't want to be overpriced here. But at the same time, this is the Premier League, and all these teams have money, and all these teams feel like they're righteous. They shouldn't have to sell their players if they don't want to. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And we have to remember that, and we have to show respect in regards to that. But we also can't be priced out of a bid, obviously, when you're putting an 80 to 100 million price tag on someone like Elliot Anderson. You're also looking at it and thinking, you know what, that's stifling the player a little bit. He's got opportunities to move away from the football club, move away from Nottingham Forest, and he's not a Nottingham Forest fan. He's not going to want to stay at Nottingham Forest. He's going to want to progress in his career as well, and signing for Manchester United could quite possibly be his key to progress, of course, guys. But lots of acceleration in regards to this move, in regards to Manchester United. It is like, you know what, there's like a little table of players that who could quite possibly fill in that void in midfield for Manchester United. You've got, obviously, Adam Wharton. You've got Elliot Anderson. You've got Conor Gallagher, of course, guys. You've got Carlos Baleba in there. Angelo Stiller in there as well. Yavi Guerra, Ugume, Kamara. You've got all these players in that squad team, in that little league there. Kone of Roma, that little league of midfielders that Man United could quite possibly sign in the summer. It looks unlikely that Man United are going to spend a lot of money in January, although do not feed into the narrative that they have no money, because we do have money. We had a little bit of money to spend on Carlos Baleba during the summer. We bid 50 to 60 million for Baleba. Of course, that was not enough money, but Man United did spend a huge chunk of that on Senny Lamens, as we know, guys, as we know. We purchased Senny Lamens, so about 30 million of that is gone. So what we need, Man United will need to bring in a player that we can have, not as I wouldn't say a stopgap. I think that's a bit disrespectful, but a stopgap. But I would say more like a player that can come in and be a squad player for a couple of years. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, Conor Gallagher, someone like that. And in the summer, we can reapproach these deals. Do you know what I mean? Ruben Amorim has already said that he does not want a stopgap signing. He wants a signing that is a permanent fixture. He wants one of them, of course, guys, so that he can work with them. But I don't think that is right. I think that, look, at the end of the day, if someone turned around to Ruben Amorim right now and said, look, we're going to give you Conor Gallagher, that's all we can give you, you think he's going to turn around and say, no, I don't want him at the end of the day. But taking it back to Elliot Anderson, of course, Manchester United, is accelerating. And to be honest with you, it all depends on Manchester United. One of the biggest factors in regards to this deal, this move, is European football. Man United qualifying for Europe. We are a few points away from the European position. So you know what? If we carry it on, if we keep the momentum, that is what it's all about. And this is what I was talking about, aiming high. I was always talking about aiming high. And whilst every team is beating every team in this league, there's no standout team. I'll say that. Arsenal are the most consistent, but they're not standing out to me as, wow, do you know what I mean? Like even Arsenal teams of the past have, but they are the most consistent team. Other than that, there's no one out there who I actually feel, you know what, is amazing. It's amazing. You know, I don't think that, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. And yes, it is interesting, to be honest with you, going forward. And this summer is going to be very interesting in regards to this midfield. And I would like to think that Man United will bring in a couple of midfielders in there, as with Casemiro leaving the football club as well, quite possibly. And who knows what's going to happen with Bruno, what's going to happen with Collier, what's going to happen with Mainu. These, again, are issues that we have to resolve as well, guys, absolutely. And it all depends as well on this old AFCON coming along, isn't it? The AFCON's coming along, and that's going to be an important period for Manchester United, of course. Will Kobe Mainu stay? Man United want him to stay. Will Xerxes stay? Of course, that is interesting to bring forward as well, in my humblest of opinions. But Manchester United, Elliot Anderson is on, guys. It is on, and we just have to fight tooth and nail and do our job, which basically is get the deal done and get into Europe, because you know what? That is going to help us get the caliber of player that we all so thrive to have, don't we, at the end of the day, guys? But yeah, Elliot Anderson, Manchester United. Now, way back in March, I spoke about a player on this stream, and I'm not going to toot my own horn, but in March, the player's name was Nico Schlotterbeck. Nico Schlotterbeck is a centre-back, left-sided centre-back and left-back who currently plays for Borussia Dortmund, 22 caps for Germany, has been linked with Manchester United again. And as many people have pointed out over the weekend and over the last few weeks, we need another left-back. We need another left-sided centre-back. And this guy fits the mold perfectly, as he can do both. And he can kill two birds with one stone, of course. Schlotterbeck is 25 years old, of course, and over this last year has impressed enormously. Some said he's world-class. Guys, and look, who am I to argue with that? Of course, who am I to argue with that? But Nico Schlotterbeck, 22 caps for Germany, linked with Manchester United again. His contract expires in 2027, guys. So one to keep, one to play by ear. In my opinion, in my humblest of opinions, I would like to see the end of Luke Shaw. I would like to see that saga ended. I would like to see the end of Dalot as well. I would like to see that saga ended as well. And I would like to see some new blood brought in, some new players brought in. That'd be absolutely fantastic. If we can get a Nico Schlotterbeck, it will be absolutely fantastic, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? Filling in that void in the left side, because obviously we're pretty weak there at the moment. However, I'm not going to give up on, obviously, Dorgu. Dorgu is a Manchester United player, of course, and we do not give up on our own. He's still very young, only 20 years old, but we do need someone there who can nurture. You know what? We talk a lot about strikers being nurtured, but we also need to nurture defenders as well, in my opinion. So Schlotterbeck will be a big option for Manchester United in the summer, of course. And the great thing about everything that's going on at the moment, and the positive light, is that we are very versatile in our links to players. We got contingency plans, so to speak. We got contingency plans. We got players that if we can't get that player, we're going to get that player. If we can't get that player, we're going to get that player. So we can run the things smoothly, you know what I mean, in the summer, not spending months and months chasing one player. As we know, we spent how long chasing Mbeumo? Goodness me. You know what I mean, at the end of the day, guys. And look, in the January, however, Man United, I don't think Man United will do any major deals. I think Man United will try and do a loan deal unless it's a cheap deal. For example, a Paqueta, at the end, a Paqueta from West Ham, someone of that ilk, Lucas Paqueta, would cost about 35, 40 million. It's still relatively a lot of money. When I was growing up, 40 million was an astronomical amount of money. It still is, of course, but in football terms, of course. But Man United could quite possibly bring in a loan deal. When we're looking at Manchester United during the AFCON, Man United are going to struggle with the right-hand side. Obviously, we're going to have Mbeumo and we're going to have Ahmad out. So we need to bring in one or two players in there to fit the mold. Players like Xerxes, players basically like Mainu could quite possibly go on loan. Who knows, guys? We have to wait until January. But maybe, just maybe, when the AFCON comes, Mainu and Xerxes can take their place, rubber stamp their position in the football team, of course, guys, because they're not getting enough football. And I don't blame them for being a little bit disgruntled, a little bit morale is down, etc. Because, you know, they want to play football. They want to go into the World Cup next year, of course, guys. But yes, lots of links to Manchester United players, lots of links, of course, guys. We've spoken already about Fabian Luiz yesterday. Manchester United have inquired about Fabian Luiz, Gilberto Mora, and Mark Gui. Of course, Mark Gui is going to be high sought after with a free transfer as well in defence, of course, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much. I hope you're all doing well. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you're all blessed. Good to see you all, of course, guys. Good to see you all in the house, of course. Absolutely. Big up all bars, and big up all bars one. Big up Dave. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone is blessed. Good morning, Sanjay. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, Anaraj. Hope you're doing well. Good to see Anaraj in the house. Big up yourself. Looks clean. Thank you so much, Anaraj. Nice to get a compliment. Thank you so much. Really good to see you, of course. Big up SLD, the legend. What's going on? Smash the likes, people. Thank you so much, my guy. Really appreciate you. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. There's no here we go. And Carlos Balaba's playing crap, so I don't think we will be. We should talk about him too much at the moment. Absolutely. Morning, Daryl. What's going on? Morning, Sal, bro. I can see him come in January. Amram has having a cheeky chat with him after the game, making sure that we get him. It's going to be difficult. I would say that what I'm hearing from my sources is that Man United, we spent a lot of the money on Baleba and Lemens, and that Man United don't have much money there. However, if Man United do offload Mainu and Xerxes, then you never know. Man United might have some money there to bring in Elliot Anderson, but Elliot Anderson is not going to be cheap. And I can't really see Man United spending 180 to 100 million on him, and that's the valuation that Nottingham Forest are giving him. And as we know with these deals, they're extremely difficult to do. And we're looking at Nottingham Forest. New manager, Sean Dyche, they're in Europe. You know, it's going to be difficult to get him. I'm not saying it's impossible, but in January, it's going to be difficult to get him, even though we really, really do need him. I would say that will be an absolute game-changing signing for Manchester United season. It's been a while since we've signed a big player in the winter as well, hasn't it? At the end of the day. SLD, seems like they are rushing to sign Anderson. Do we know if he is Premier League proven? I've only heard of him this season. He's Premier League proven. He's playing in England, of course. He's Premier League proven, of course, mate. He's played against Man United at the weekend, so he's Premier League proven. He's played for Newcastle as well, so he's played it for a couple of teams in the Premier League. And also, the glaring attractive thing about this deal is that Elliot Anderson plays for England, and he plays for England very, very well as well. He's completely smashed it at England, and he's been playing for England for years, the way he's been playing, if you've been watching him. And you can also tell a good player by the way they play in the big stage. Do you know what I mean? In regards to England, playing for England and playing well for England, playing well for Forest. He completely run that game against us at the weekend. He was the man. He was the difference between Man United winning and Man United drawing. That was the difference. It was Elliot Anderson. It was him. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Absolutely. Big up SLD, by the way. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Sam, good morning, Sal. Good morning, Sam. How you doing, my friend? Happy New Week. Happy New Week to you as well. Happy Monday. United should do everything possible to sign him. I agree with Sam. I think we should. I think it's something that we haven't done over the last recent years that we fought tooth and nail to get the players that we need. And Elliot Anderson will be one of those players that we need. But not only Elliot Anderson, of course, there's also Adam Wharton as well. And I raised this point, guys. We need to sign 2 midfielders, right? I don't think it would be that bad. I think if Man United signed Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson, or Angelo Stiller and Elliot Anderson, Angelo Stiller, Adam Wharton, I don't think it's impossible. You think about Man United, the amount of money they spent this summer. How much is Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson, or Adam Wharton and Stiller? How much is it going to cost for 2? It's going to cost about 160 million, something like that, 80 million each. Do you know what I mean? It's going to cost about that, isn't it? So that is less than what we spent in the summer, of course. 160 million, Elliot Anderson, Wharton, or Angelo Stiller in the football club. Bring in a wing back for 30, 40 million, an experienced one, DeMarco, someone like that. Bring in a couple of those. Bob's your uncle. You know what I mean? Sharon's a grandmother. Absolutely. That is what we're talking about. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think it's in the realms of impossibility that Man United can't do both deals, guys. The earlier the better, though. As Daryl said, the earlier the better. If we can get these deals done early, it'd be better. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously, if we get an Elliot Anderson in or Adam Wharton, I am doubtful about Adam Wharton. I think he's already given a gentleman's agreement to Crystal Palace that he's not going to leave in January. He will wait until the summer. That's one thing I heard. But in regards to Elliot Anderson, if Man United managed to strike a deal with Elliot Anderson, then you know what? It would completely reshape our midfield, and it would completely boost Manchester United going forward. But I don't believe it's going to happen in January. I think it's going to happen in the summer, because obviously we still got Casemiro in there. We still got Bruno in there. We got Mainu still at the football club as well. So I don't think Man United are going to bring in anyone. Ugarte as well. But I don't think Man United are going to bring anyone in. The only transfers that I can envision Man United bringing in are a loan deal for like Conor Gallagher, someone like that, who I don't think people should sniff at, turn their nose up at, because I think that would be a shrewd signing, in my opinion, to go to Manchester United. A player that could fit the squad, is Premier League proven. You know, England play for England, you know, as we know. So I don't think that would be a bad move for Manchester United, if I'm being honest. Thank you, Sam. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Big up, Yale. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. There is a rumor that Ruben Amraman Anderson did have a chat, and Dyche almost sounded resigned that Anderson could be leaving. This rumor can be of one truth. It would cost us a fortune, but that's what you have in it. You pay for what you get, isn't it? At the end of the day, that's life. Guys, it's pretty obvious that Elliot Anderson will be leaving Nottingham Forest. He has no a connection to Nottingham Forest in regards to a supporting level of Nottingham Forest. So I don't think that I think that Nottingham Forest know that they can't hold him back. I think they know that Nottingham Forest are in the relegation zone at the moment, and looking at Nottingham Forest over the weekend, I can't really see them surviving, if I'm being honest. But if it's Elliot Anderson, you're going to be thinking about your career. You're going to be thinking about your international career. You're going to be thinking about European football as well. So it's very important, guys, that Manchester United get qualified for Europe, because as far as I'm aware, Elliot Anderson wants to play European football, Champions League football and stuff like that. So it's in Manchester United's hands, so to speak, and we just need to concentrate on getting the results to get into the Champions League. Of course, and we can bring in Elliot Anderson, which would be a great signing, but not just Elliot Anderson. We need to bring in other players as well, like Nico Schlotterbeck as well. Of course, Sam, big up Sam, big up Yale, by the way. Let's get Anderson, then get Stiller. I believe the two both will improve our midfield. I mean, at the end of the day, Sam, yeah, lovely job. It'd be absolutely incredible if we managed to do that. I would agree. There would be an absolute game changer for Manchester United. I agree with that. Because Stiller and Elliot Anderson, you know what I mean? What a midfield that is. That is a championship challenging midfield for me. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously you've got the squad as well to complement that. That would be an absolutely game changer. I would not say no. I would not say no in regards to that. Absolutely not. I would wholeheartedly co-sign that, Sam. Absolutely. Big up Dave. What's going on, Davey boy? Smith, what's going on? Big up yourself. Props to yourself. Also recommending we get Anderson. Hopefully we get him for at a fair price. Absolutely. Because he'll stabilise the midfield and get that free gunman up top. Absolutely. Mate, look, Dave, you know, one thing that Man United have been missing over the years is a stabilised midfield, isn't it? And even when people were looking at Dalot yesterday, day before yesterday, I was also looking at that midfield. That the midfield was getting run to pieces by Elliot Anderson. Elliot Anderson was dominating that midfield. Let's be real here. And that's embarrassing for a team like Man United and Nottingham Forest. But that just goes to show you how good Elliot Anderson is. I know our midfield is not the best. I know it's Bagel FC. I know that. But still, these are quality players you're talking about Casemiro. These are seasoned players, world-class players, Champions League, multiple Champions Leagues, etc. And Bruno, European champions of Portugal, etc. Do you know what I mean? So these are great players that Elliot Anderson is playing against. And you can really see the mark of a great player who can exert himself in that sort of atmosphere, in that pressure cooker like that. Absolutely. And I'm very, very excited about him if he comes to Manchester United, that is, because whoever signs Elliot Anderson, of course, you know who's looking for a midfielder? We're looking at Liverpool looking for a midfielder. Real Madrid are looking for a midfielder. So we got to act quickly, of course. Lots of rumours about Adam Wharton and Real Madrid, however. So look, you know, if we don't get Adam Wharton, I will be absolutely happy with Elliot Anderson. And of course, if we can sneakily get in Angelo Stiller as well, I think that will be a Stiller signing. Of course, guys, I do believe that would be absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. Big up SOD, stopgap. I prefer the word side chick. I don't know nothing about side chicks. I'm a happily married man, so I don't need no side chick. Absolutely. I'm married to an Italian princess. So yeah, there you go. Absolutely. So yeah, look, you know what I would say is that in the football terms, definitely a side chick. Yeah, definitely all those broken promises and stuff like that. Yeah, we're good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, definitely in regards to Conor Gallagher would be a stopgap at the moment. However, I do think that we'll be pleasantly surprised if we get Conor Gallagher on loan. I'm telling you right now, I know he's not a fashionable signing. I know it's not one of those players that you have written on the back of your shirt. I know that. I'm not stupid, you know what I mean? But one thing I would say is that it will complement our squad enormously. And looking at the way Man United are going, especially I'm worried about the AFCON. You have to be a little bit concerned about the AFCON, but it's up to us to fix it. Yeah, it's up to us to get the players in and to make sure that we don't slip up in the coming games, of course. And after the Tottenham Hotspur game, of course, we're gearing up to the Tottenham Hotspur game, of course, guys, looking forward to it. We have the international break. And then after the international break, we got a few games that we can quite possibly win. I think our most difficult game is Crystal Palace away, which is going to be a difficult game. We know that Crystal Palace is going to be difficult. But other than that, we've got the likes of Bournemouth at home, Wolves at home, of course, as well. Which we can win those games, definitely, absolutely. And Everton at home as well. So we could definitely win those games. Of course, Yale, Anderson and Stiller do play in the same position, but could one of them be more advanced? Yes, Yale, you make a good point in regards to Stiller. Stiller is a number 6 stroke number 8. So Stiller could play both roles. Absolutely. Both roles like Benjamin Stiller, of course, as we know. Yes. Looking forward to meet the parents in part 4, by the way. Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be funny. But look, he can play multiple roles. He's a number 6 and a number 8, a very, very capable one as well. He can do both roles, bring that ball forward. He can act as a number 6. And I think that is more of the modern day midfielder, if I'm being honest, the player that can be the number 6 and the number 8 at the same time. And I think that's what Ruben Amorim is looking for, so we can interchange every throughout the game, of course, and be more versatile. Because at the moment, I mean, yeah, you can look at a number 6 and you can look at a number 8, but we need to look at players that can do both roles, which will be absolutely fantastic. Of course, big up Yale. Sam, United should forget about Baleba and focus on Anderson. I think the thing is, I think the Baleba situation has really hit a wall. I think it has, because obviously his performances are pretty evident. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, people got to realize this, right? Is that Ineos, the Glazers are looking, Amorim as well, Vivell, Wilcox, Barada are looking at Baleba like we are looking at Baleba and thinking, how comes he's not performing? All right, Man United turned his head. That's okay. We understand. But guys, come on. I know that Brighton won 3-0 yesterday, but nobody's singing the praises of Baleba. You know what I mean? No one's saying that he played amazingly well. And look, at the end of the day, that just show a mentality issue there. Man United need players who are focused. You know what I mean? Even if someone turns ahead. Because let me give you an example, guys. If Carlos Baleba plays for Manchester United, and I wouldn't be opposed to Carlos Baleba playing for Man United, fantastic player. As you know, he's been my record thumbnail guy. I put him on my thumbnail the record amounts of times. But in regards to Carlos Baleba, what I would say is this, right? He's got to pick up his performances. It's a lot of money that we got to pay for him. So if we're looking at him and thinking, look, we have to be worried about this, we have to be worried about buying Carlos Baleba, because at the end of the day, we're going to spend a lot of money on him. Surely that Manchester United are going to be thinking exactly the same, of course. Big up, Sam, by the way. Big up, Benny. What's going on? We need to keep an eye on Freddie Post at West Ham. Will be a fantastic player. Yes. West Ham, by the way, Benny. West Ham are a conveyor belt of young players. I mean, I was raised on great players coming from West Ham, of course. Rio Ferdinand, of course. Rio Ferdinand started at Bournemouth, but we know what Rio Ferdinand, Frank Lampard, of course, Michael Carrick, of course, Joe Cole came from them. Johnson came from them. Of course, West Ham as well. Lots of players came through the West Ham ranks. Lots of great players, of course, Bobby Moore and players like that came through the West Ham ranks. West Ham have a history of bringing through players. And there's another one. And they haven't done it recently as effectively as they used to do it back in the 90s or the 80s. But you know what? I think that, look, it's great to see them bringing through players again. West Ham United, absolutely. And yes, we need to keep an eye on that player. Absolutely. I'm pretty sure that we will. Hello, Arman. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Absolutely. Big up, Arman. Hope you're well. Thank you. So yes, I did have a haircut, mate. Yes, I did. I think that otherwise I'll be worried about the sides of my head. Where have the sides gone? Well, I just woke up and the sides were gone. I don't know where they happened. Where are they? I'm looking everywhere for them. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Arman. Sam, United really need a midfielders. If it's possible, 3 midfielders will not be a bad idea. It would be lovely. I think that Man United won't do it, though. I think the maximum that Man United will sign is 2 midfielders. It will be great if Man United got Elliot Anderson and Angelo Stiller. It will be absolutely fantastic, and it's not in the realms of impossibility. But it's down to Manchester United. It's down to us. It's down to if we get into the Champions League. That's what we got to do. We got to concentrate on getting into that Champions League. And if we get into that Champions League, the world is our oyster, and we can 100 million in the bank in regards to Champions League qualification and attraction from players as well who want to play in the Champions League. We were hampered this summer, of course. If I was to give Ineos a little bit of credit, we were hampered because obviously we weren't in the Champions League, and that was always going to be a thing. However, we did get a 4 or 5 window. We should have been aware of Angelo Stiller, though, because I mentioned him last year. We should have signed him. I would be happy with 2 midfielders in there, a wing back, and squad players as well. That would be absolutely fantastic. I think Man United do need another defender in there as well, and we need to think about moving on Luke Shaw and Dalot, in my opinion, guys. I don't know what you think about that. Should Man United move on Dalot and Luke Shaw? What do you think? Dave, for now, we can only get 1 midfielder. If we are to add another, that it will mean that Bruno leaves, because he's automatically been given 1 position in the 2-man field. Yeah, it's true. To be honest with you, it does depend on what happens, though, in regards to Manchester United and in regards to the midfield. If Mainu leaves, Casemiro looks likely to leave. Man United will sign 2 because we'll have no one to play in midfield. You know what I mean? So Man United will sign 2, but it does depend on Mainu, and it does look likely that Mainu may leave, and obviously Casemiro might not sign a new contract. Of course, Casemiro's on 370 grand a week, which is a lot of money to me for Man United. And to be honest with you, I think Man United, if they really want to be serious, and what I'm hearing is that they want 2 midfielders, if they really want to be serious, I think they need to sign 2, and Angelo Stiller, Elliot Anderson, and Adam Wharton. That someone of that ilk. At least, if Man United signed Elliot Anderson and got Conor Gallagher, so you know what I mean. But we need to buy 2 midfielders definitely, because even though people are talking a lot about the fullbacks, and they had every right to talk about the fullbacks at the weekend, the midfield was null and void. The midfield was not controlling the game. We should have lost, and at the end of the day, and look, we need the team as a whole to be calm, because I'm sure Ruben Amorim didn't say at the weekend, go out there and concede 2 goals, make it interesting. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm sure he didn't do that. Of course, if I did, he'd be very worrying, but he didn't, did he? So I would say that we needed, like in the second half against Nottingham Forest, we needed to control things, keep it tight, not give any confidence to Nottingham Forest, and then when our chance comes, we pick them off 2-0, 3-0. That's what Chelsea done the other week. Unfortunately, we have a bunch of players, in my opinion, that are a little bit lightweight. Right? And I will say that I don't think Ahmad is a right wing back. I'm going to say it 1,000 times. He's not a right wing back. He's too small. And you can get beaten on the near post, and he did. And it's not his fault. He's too small. You know what I mean? I'm short comparatively. I'm taller than him, but I'm short comparatively. You know what I mean? And even that, you think that if you're going to be marking a defender or an attacker who's 6'5", you're going to be in problems, isn't it? Of course. Absolutely. Big up Stephen Maguire. What's going on, my guy? I hope you're doing well. Big up Dave, by the way. Sorry, brother. Big up Dave. Good morning, Sal and United fam. Teams like Spurs always show up when United comes to town, but they play crap versus Chelsea. Spurs, I think it is something to do with Man United. And look, guys, I know that Man United are not being as successful as they have been over the last 20 years. Less than that, 15 years. Not as been as successful as they have been, right? And we still have this thing at Manchester United where teams want to beat us. You can deny it, but teams want to beat us because it's Manchester United. Not because what we are at the moment, but because it's Manchester United. And a lot of these players have been raised with a successful Manchester United, and they've been looking at Manchester United on the TV. And you know what Man United bring as well? Let me tell you something what else Man United bring as well. Man United, when players play well against Man United, many players, and I know they'll deny it, their fans will deny it, their players want to play for Manchester United. They want to play for Manchester United. Their players want to play for Manchester United, absolutely. And they do raise their game. As much as people want to deny it, teams do play better against Manchester United, even to this day. I will give you evidence of that, absolutely. Because Spurs will lose against Chelsea pretty easily. Man United beat Chelsea. And when they play Man United, look, it's up to us at the end of the day. We can't have any excuses. We need to go out against Spurs and absolutely give it to them, absolutely spot on. Now, one thing I want to talk about, guys, is tactics. Guys. Now, I want to talk about tactics with you guys. All right. Now, look, football's a very simple game. And I believe there's 3 ways of playing football. 3 ways of playing football, right? You could play around the team, you could play through a team, or you could play over a team, okay? And you adjust your game based on what the opposition are doing. If they're pressing you, you go over. If they're hitting you on the wings, you go around the team, etc. Do you know what I mean? So there's 3 things: over, through, around, right? And that's what I think Manchester United should remember. Right, and it's something that we did very well. This very simple way of playing. And Aston Villa made the mistake against Liverpool. How have Liverpool been losing so many games this season? People have been playing over them, winning the second balls. Do you know what I mean? So this is something that Man United need to adjust to. Either over the top, around, or through. And we need to analyze the game. When the game kicks off, we're ready to play over if need be. We're ready to play through if need be. And we're ready to play around if need be. Of course, the little intricacies here and there do matter as well. But in the basics, I mean, the overriding fact that we need to implement and to practice is to adjust the way we play as a sort of bracket of a style of play. So a bracket over the top, a bracket around the sides, and a bracket through the middle. And I think that's one thing we need to change, interchange, right? We can hit it long like we did against Liverpool, but hitting it long against Nottingham Forest is not going to work as effectively, right? This is what we have to understand. Controlling the ball against Forest would have worked more effectively, maybe playing through the middle, maybe through the sides. That's what, but we tried the same formation. So with every single game, Man United need to adjust, whether that be around, through, or over the top. That's it. Just 3 styles of football. That's it. Football is a simple game, guys. Let me tell you that. Just 3 styles of football. Football is a simple game. If the team is pressing us, if they're pushing us high up the pitch, over the top, win the second ball. That's what we do. That's what Alex Ferguson did. It's what we should do. Absolutely, guys. So that is something that I just wanted to bring into the show. Absolutely. Big up. Benny, Freddie Potts. Sal, sorry. Yeah, I get you, mate. I got you, brother. I got you. No problem. Yeah, absolutely. Freddie Potts. I call him Freddie. He's got Freddie on the back of his shirt. I'm just thinking about the next game. Please don't lose to Spurs. Can't stand teams. Them. I can't stand them either. Stephen Maguire, absolutely. When they beat us 4 times last season. My eldest brother, is a Tottenham fan. Been a Tottenham fan 40 years, and losing to them is an absolute nightmare. Let alone losing to them in a European final. I thought I'd never see the day that would happen, but it happened, guys, and I was absolutely embarrassed, guys. Probably the most embarrassed I've ever been. So. Maybe it's about time that we change the narrative and we beat Tottenham at their stadium. The last time we won there, I think it was 3-0, wasn't it? Cristiano Ronaldo, Cavani scored, if I'm not wrong. I mean, we haven't won there since, so we got to change the narrative. Daryl, where would you rather, who would you rather, Sal, Slotterback or Van der Ven? I take either one. Slotterback would be easier. Van der Ven's an absolute brilliant defender. I'm not lying. He's one of the best defenders in the Premier League. I mean, shame he's playing for Tottenham. You're absolutely right in regards to Schlotterbeck. You're absolutely spot on, Daryl, that he would be an easier target, obviously playing for Dortmund, would want to move to the Premier League. He's 25, would want to move to the Premier League, come to Manchester United. Who wouldn't? At the end of the day, well, there might be a few who wouldn't, but, Schlotterbeck, Manchester United is a possibility. Van der Ven, it's going to be that thing, isn't it, Daryl? It's going to be the Premier League tax, etc., which is going to cost an absolute arm and a leg, isn't it? And Van der Ven will be an absolute madman. Have you heard of a movie called Nuremberg Man? Rings a bell, Nuremberg Man. It rings a bell, but I mean, I'll have to be remembered that I have to look it up. I probably watched it, but I can't remember. I watched so many movies. By the way, what did I watch the other day? I watched, what did I watch? I've forgotten what the bloody film was called. Eugenia. Very good midfield. Very good movie. I've got football in my head all the time. I go to my wife, oh, that was a very good midfield. And she goes, what are you talking about? She goes, I go, very good midfield. She goes, what's a midfield? I got, a very good movie. I got football in my brain all the time. You know what I mean? I forgot what it's called. Bulgaria, I think it's called. Brilliant film. Watched it in the cinema. Absolutely, I advise it. Dave, Sal, do you think there's a possibility we get Gui in January? No, because his contract expires in the summer. So I think we'll get him the free transfer, boy. Not boy, bro. I won't say boy. Listen, boy, I think you're getting free transfer, boy. No, I think we'll get him in a free transfer, bro. Absolutely, my friend. Absolutely. I think we'll get him in a free transfer in 2026 because his contract runs out in summer. But there will be other teams who are going to be vying for his signature. Of course, he's a fantastic player, of course. Absolutely. Kula, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good morning, Devils. Wasn't a bad game against Forest. It just shows us that there is no place in the team for Dalot. That guy is just not good enough. He is too, I wouldn't say that, but he shouldn't be in the team, in other words. Absolutely. But yeah, Kula, yeah, look, no, we have no discrimination against people with disadvantages, of course, guys, which Dalot doesn't have. Look, he's not good enough for Man United, and that's as simple as that. Look, guys, I would bring this to the equation. I heard Mark Goldbridge talking about it, and I want to know your opinion. I would say this, right? Would you rather a player that has a good attitude, turns up for training every single day, on time, works hard, always available, great personality, but is not a good footballer? You know, or would you like a player that turns up late, very moody, bit of a prat, but is a world-class footballer and performs every single game? You would want the latter, wouldn't you? I would think so. You know, if the player is changing the game, if the player is making the difference for Manchester United, that is ultimately what the most important thing is, isn't it, guys? Absolutely. Absolutely. Hoofball is needed plan when you run out of ideas. When you're losing the game, maybe. When you're 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go, you can hoof it up forward, absolutely. But it's not a bad idea if a team is playing the way the modern day play. You can play it over the top, and that is what's been beating Liverpool recently. It was that. The thing with Aston Villa, they think we're not going to change our style of play, and they played their style of play and they got smacked up. You know what I mean? I would rather play long ball and win the game. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Cooler. Casemiro, Euro, and De Ligt jump for the same ball, and Dalot doesn't even know where the ball is. Dalot is a bozo. Dalot is dopey. This is the problem with him. And sure, he's a fantastic player, person, a fantastic role model in regards to training, always available, versatile, never moaning. But guys, there's other options on the left, and we need to play the players that are specialized on the left. Dalot is bad enough on the right, let alone the left. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, of course. Yale, it's a long time since we've beaten Spurs. Last time was 22, yes, but it's time to beat them. Change the narrative like we've been doing over the last few weeks. Change the narrative. Beat Brighton, beat Liverpool. You know what I mean? And let's go on to, obviously, we did beat Forest, but at least we drew. We lost there last season. We should have won that clearance off the line, guys. I mean, it just annoys me because I know that if that was any other team, he wouldn't have busted a gut to clear that off the line. And that's my opinion on that. Absolutely. I know it's sinister, but that's what I feel. Gibbs hates Man United. He's always giving us a problem. Benny, football is a simple game made complicated by people who should know better. Bill Shank, absolutely. Absolutely. And nowadays, we've got too many people with laptops, with iPads, with that sitting there. You know what? One of the great quotes from Jose Mourinho was those who has to analyze football with stats don't know about football. And I have to agree. What you do, you have the eye test. Number one, you have the eye test, and then you look at stats. You don't base your whole opinion on stats. You have to look at the eye test as well, because I can bring in players like Cantona and players of that ilk whose stats weren't amazing, like some of the best players of all time, but overall impact, which is not carried with stats, was much greater than any player in Premier League history. You know what I mean? And that's what I would say. In my opinion, Kula. I will stay far away from Van der Ven. Did you see that guy ignored his manager after the game? There is no room for those players that no matter how good the player you are. I agree with Kula here, to be honest with you. Him and Spence. What we have to look at is professionalism. We have to look at professionalism. I think that's very important, regardless if you like your manager or you don't like the manager, you fall on that. If you want to talk to your manager, you save it for the dressing room. You save it for there. You don't air your dirty laundry in public. And I feel like what Spence did and what obviously Van der Ven did was disgraceful. Disgraceful. Because I know if that was Manchester United, you know what we will be saying, isn't it? At the end of the day, you don't ignore your man. You give a high five to your manager. What's the harm in that? Just give him a high five in front of the cameras. Whether you mean it or not, just give him a bloody high five, because at the end of the day, what message does this send to the youth team, to everything? You know, that you can just disrespect the manager like that in public. Right? What message does that send at the end of the day? He's your manager. He's your manager. There's people around the world watching you. You're not only bringing the manager into disrepute, you're not only bringing yourself into disrepute, you're bringing the team and the club into disrepute. Because it's okay to do that to your manager. It's okay. I know you're frustrated. I know you're angry. That's good. But you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that, in my opinion. And you know what? I hope they carry these vibes into the Manchester United game. Knowing us, knowing Man United's luck, they'll probably be the best of mates again and be hugging and kissing and whatever they'll be doing by the time they play Man United, and they'll be ready for the game and hyped and pumped up for the game, of course, guys. Absolutely. So big up Amir. I hope you're doing well. It's releasing it this week, bro. Oh, I'm gonna check it out, my friend. I will check it out, my friend. Big up Kula. If we go for Gui, we'll be down to him if we wants to join, convince him in January and agree verbally. I don't know if we can do that. Crystal Palace in Europe, they'd be tapping up. I don't know if we can do that, mate. We believe in you, Sir Amir, and big up Amir. Absolutely. Dave, Spurs are playing an historic fossil football of their gaff. We have to take advantage of their poor run at home and got to win before they start playing well. Absolutely. And this is something that I was talking about over the top, through the middle, and around the sides. We need to learn how to play different ways of playing and be versatile and transition in between games. And the way Tottenham play, in theory, I would say that Thomas Frank football is a bit of a low block football, isn't it? So what would I say? Round the sides. You know what I mean? And try and control that midfield and try and get the ball into the box, of course. Look, we win that game, the Nottingham Forest game becomes a good result. We lose that game, the Nottingham Forest game becomes a bad result. We draw that game, you know, it's not that good, but it's not the end of the world. But it would be great if Man United win that game, and obviously it would give us a huge advantage in regards to getting into that European places, which we ultimately going for as well, of course, guys. I really can't wait to have Licha back on left centre-back so we can just play as a right centre-back. I don't think Yoro's been bad, to be honest with you, mate. I think you got it wrong there, Kula. Yoro's been not bad. I don't think it's back. Mazraoui, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. Even though Mazraoui would be good to squad, Mazraoui is back. He's not playing him. Absolutely. But Licha Martinez, I would say Licha Martinez is a very important player as well. However, I do think Man United players need to be a little bit taller in defence. That's one thing I would say, guys. Absolutely. Yale, the good thing I take from the Forest game, Ahmed got his first goal of the season. I wish that Cass 6 years younger. I agree, Yale. I mean, Cass has always been one of my favourite players over the last 10 years. He's been a generational when it comes to CDM. Of course, it's just too old now, mate. And we have to look to the future now, guys, because his legs did kind of run out during the game, didn't they? He was getting tired as the game went on, you know, unfortunately. Of course, but he's still a very good player. He's still a player that we can bring on or we can play, but we do need rotation. We do need players in there that can take his place. Do you know what I mean? Ruben Amorim is obviously not a fan of Ugarte. You know what I mean? I would say, in my opinion. Lita, Euro, delete at the back. Dogo on the left wing back. Ahmed as a right the way for us for now. But I wouldn't play Ahmed as a right wing back. I don't think he's a good right wing back, and that proven because he's too short. He's too short. We got caught out on that corner. People blaming Ahmed, but what do you want Ahmed to do? He's too short. The thing is, what's going to happen, right, is that teams are going to think Ahmed's about 5'5". We're going to put a 6'6" player on him. He's going to lose the header, isn't he? Come on, let's be real. So defensively, it handicaps us. So what Man United need a right wing back, right? Who's big, tall, strong, domineering. You know what I mean? And you can bring on Ahmad. You can play him as a number 10. You can bring him on as a substitute. I actually think he's a substitute player. Right? I think he scored a great goal at the weekend. Brilliant goal. But overall play, when it's time to cross, there's no crosses coming in. There's nothing coming in. You know what I mean? And Man United need crosses into the box. Yeah, and we got Sesko up there. Again, isn't it a coincidence, guys? Sesko, Rasmus, all these players can't score goals because we're not getting crosses into the box. We need a right foot on the right, left foot on the left, get those crosses in, run on the wings, get those crosses in, make crossing popular again. Bring it back. Absolutely. Who's your favourite actor? I've got a few. Robert De Niro, of course. Al Pacino, my favourite actor. Edward Norton, I think is a fantastic actor as well. I like the new guy as well. Skarsgård from It and things. I think he's an absolutely phenomenal actor now, of course, guys, absolutely. But I've got a lot of good actors, but there's a lot of crap ones these days, you know what I mean? But I've got some good ones as well. CP, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing well. Dalot cannot start. He is not good enough. I agree there. I agree with that. I agree. He's not good enough. I think that there's a little bit of a sinister thing going on here in regards to why he's playing. In my opinion. Mark, morning, Sal. Good morning. Going on last season's stats and results, we are in a good place. 10 points from a possible 12 is progress. We could have been third but we are on the course for a top 4. And you think about it, Mark, when you think about the Fulham game and you think about the Arsenal game, Man United should have at least got a point against Arsenal because it was a foul. It didn't even go to VAR. Disgrace. And the Fulham game, we missed a penalty because of petulance from Bruno. So we should have actually had at least three more points. 1 more point against Arsenal, 2 more points against Fulham. Yeah, and we'd be right up there right now. Absolutely. The only 2 games I would say that we deservedly lost and we got outplayed was the Brentford game and the City game, in my opinion. Which is these players for you, isn't it? Dan, morning. So nice, Sal. Nice early kickoff at Spurs on Saturday morning, so the boys can make it up for these drop points while that disappointment is still there. Hopefully, because we haven't been really good at these early morning kickoffs recently, have we? We need to change the narrative again. We need to change the storyline again. And Man United need to go to Tottenham and win. And I hope we can. We'll get the overnight. We won't get the overnight train. We'll get there a day before, of course. And hopefully, Man United can beat them. We need to stuff Spurs, guys. We need to beat Spurs. Look what they did to us last season. Look what they did to us. We need to beat them. We really do. I mean, I hope we do. We do. And, because they're cocky Spurs now. They're cocky Spurs when they play against cocky with their logo, cocky. You know what I mean? So what we need is to, stuff those cocks. That's it. And that's what I would say. Absolutely. Cooler. The situation at Spurs is perfect for United. We go in focused and we destroy them. There is a problem at Spurs camp. Let's hope so. Let's hope that problem continues. Let's hope that the toxicity continues at their football club. Let's hope so. Absolutely. Big up, Lawrence. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Sal, do you think the wing-back system actually works at United and there's problems on the right as well as left? Yeah, I think it works. I just don't think we've got the players for it, Lawrence. I think it works if we play the right players. It works, and it works well. I don't think Ruben Amorim will change it, but it's up to Ineos to support Ruben and get the players that he needs on those wing-back positions because we haven't had any signings on the wing-back positions. He hasn't got any in, which is crazy when you consider that a huge part of his play is wing-backs. But I do think it works. I've seen it. It works well as well. When it works, boy, it works. What do you think of the score will be? I'm going to give you that at the end of the week, guys, when I do my match preview. I'm going to think about it more intensively, not just throw out a result there. Guys, absolutely. But yeah, look, I'll be doing my match preview. I think Thursday I'll probably do my match preview. But yeah, guys, look, we gear up to that game. It's the next one now. That's what it's all about. It's all about the next. It's all about the next one. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. And beating Spurs would be like, what would the Spurs game do? I've always seen this Spurs game, as I said yesterday, about like a final, like a million final. Our man, you only need to write that once. You can fit okay, cool, short in one sentence, mate. It's all good, man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So what I would say is that, yes, Spurs is the big one now, and we'll be gearing up to that, and hopefully we can change the narrative. Because at the end of the day, if we beat Spurs, then you're going to look at this last 5 games and go, great. We lose the Spurs, it's like, we've done all right, but then we lost. And yeah. So we need to just go out there and win against Spurs and forget about the history and just think about the future. And that's what we need to do, because I know that they are going to want to stuff us. Of course they do. Absolutely. But they're Spurs, guys. As Sir Alex Ferguson said, they're Spurs. We need to understand that. We need to remember they're just Spurs. We need to beat them. And I think we will. We beat Liverpool away. Why can't we beat Spurs away? And that's what I would say. I'm not being overly confident. I know that anything can happen in football. Just like Nottingham Forest, the Premier League is a difficult one. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys, absolutely. Yeah. But I'm confident Man United will defeat Spurs. But I'm going to give you my prediction and my lineups on Thursday, guys, for the prediction show, and etc. Of course, guys, absolutely. But as we gear up, as the time goes forward, we are in November, guys. It's nearly December already. It's nearly 2026. Time is flying. And the AFCON is going to be coming thick and fast on the 21st. So what's most important for Manchester United going forward? We got the silly international break. I don't know why this international break keeps happening so frequently, but it's happening anyway. England already qualified. I don't know what's going on. It's just ridiculous. You have to play these countries that are just rubbish. I'll be honest, guys, you know what I mean? 5-0, 6-0, 9-0, things like that, do you know what I mean? And what I would say is that getting up to the AFCON, Manchester United need to win as many games as we can get. And then obviously we've got a few difficult games coming up as well. Man City, as we know, we've got coming up. We've got Arsenal coming up thick and fast as well. Aston Villa away coming up as well, which are going to be difficult. And hopefully Manchester United can get some momentum going before then, and we can end up winning these games. You never know, guys. It's going to be difficult. The Premier League is difficult. Every time you turn around, it's going to be a difficult game. Whether it's Crystal Palace away, Aston Villa away, Everton away, Tottenham away, Newcastle away, every game is going to be difficult, more or less, in the Premier League. And we have to remember that. Brighton away, every team could beat every team, and I think that as long as we can fix that defence, if we could fix our defence, I think Man United are going to be good. Because when I'm looking at Man United over the last, let's say 10 games, we concede goals from mistakes. There's one overriding fact here. Man United don't concede goals for a magnificent piece of play and buried it in the top corner. Man United concede goals from, oh, what a mistake. Oh, my goodness me. Look at Dalot there. You know what I mean? Look at him. What's he doing there? Man United concede stupid goals. That's our problem. We're very complacent sometimes, and we have 5-minute moments in games, just like evidently against Nottingham Forest. We have 5-minute sections in games where we just go all over the place. These little 5-minute sectors in between games need to be erased, because that 5 minutes can cost you, right? We scored at the weekend. I was absolutely delighted. We're 1-0. We're going to get 4 in a row. Next thing I know, 5 minutes later, I'm looking at the score and I'm seeing 2-1 to Nottingham Forest. And I just felt the first thing that entered my head, mistakes. Probably mistakes. And it was. And to be honest with you, we make too many of those type of mistakes. Absolutely. Big up Tyrell. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again in the stream. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, Man United make too many mistakes. I think most of the goals that we concede, we're very complacent and we switch off. We're like a light switch sometimes. And it's the same old culprits, whether it's Luke Shaw, whether it's Diego Dalot, we switch off. You know what I mean? And we need to remove that from our game, to be honest with you, the dopiness, to be honest with you. I watched the Arsenal game against Burnley, and there was a throw-in for Burnley, right? And even though there was no danger, the ball came into the box, there was no danger, you saw Gabriel come out and just go baff with the header. Get it out of there. Have it out of there. And that's the difference. Do you know what I mean? That's the difference. You don't even take any chances. You risk it all. You risk your body, everything to get that ball out of play. Now, we have one player like that at the moment, which is obviously De Ligt, who is the only one, but he's marking another player. The rest of the team need to follow suit. They need to be more awake, and they need to be more aware of what goes on during games. Because against Fulham, we made 2 mistakes. There was a mistake from Bruno. Then there was a mistake from Dalot, which led to the Fulham equaliser. The goal against Arsenal was a mistake from Bayindir. All right. So the mistakes keep coming. If we eradicate those mistakes from a game, we will be further up the table. That's what happens, isn't it? You know what I mean? No shit, Sherlock, but that's what happens, of course. Benny, dopiness. That's what it is, though, isn't it, Benny? It's dopiness. It's those switching off at times. You know what I mean? I should know. I was a dopey kid. You know what I mean? I know what I won. You know what I mean? But what I would say is that, no, some people mistaked me for being dopey, but I was very, very articulated. Of course, guys. But yeah, look, what I would say is that if we can eradicate these mistakes from our game, we'll be okay. Mark, we now play long ball and have conceded 7 goals more in the first 10 games than Onana did last year. How is that even happening? I think the majority of the problem is Luke Shaw and Dalot. It's my opinion. But football doesn't deal with absolutes, Mark. Football doesn't deal with absolutes. Man United even under Alex Ferguson, would concede more goals than another season. Would concede less goals that season. It's just football, isn't it? As sometimes it happens. But I do think playing Dalot as a left wing back, playing Shaw in the centre back is big part of why we're conceding more goals. I think Man United would be much better if Aiden Heaven and Dorgu right there. That's just me. Absolutely. We are winning. Absolutely. We are winning. Of course. I hope so. I hope we do win, guys. That's what's most important. We're gearing up for that Tottenham game. I'm sure the Arsenal fan in the house will want us to beat Tottenham at the weekend. Of course, I think we need to. These are the type of teams that we need to be winning against. Too many draws, guys. Too many draws. And we need to start winning those games, turn those draws into wins. Guys, absolutely. Or the losses into draws, the draws into wins. That's what Man United need to do, and just try and work it out as the games go on. And hopefully we'll be in that top 4 position, top 5 position, but come the end of the season. I don't think it's in the realms of impossibility. But the only worry that I have is that we have these bozo moments, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. One That Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, says Danny. That's a very old movie from Jack Nicholson. It's basically about Jack Nicholson goes into a home for the disadvantaged and stuff like that, which I feel that, yeah, not going to say anything. I'm not going to cancel myself. But yeah, look, yeah, that's a very good movie. Classic. I love all Jack Nicholson movies, Anger Management. I love those type of movies. They make me laugh, and I agree with that those sort of movies, absolutely. There's lots of things. I'm really looking for Meet the Fockers, as you know, Meet the Parents. It's Focker-in-Law, the new one coming out with obviously Ben Stiller and stuff like that. Not Angelo Stiller, Ben Stiller. That would be worrying if it was Angelo Stiller, of course, absolutely. But yeah, but Angelo Stiller can play different roles, so maybe he could play a number 8 and a number 6. Definitely, guys, absolutely. But yeah, look, you know what? I'm confident, as I always am, guys. Some people say I'm overly zealous. Some people say I'm overly confident, but I'm always going to be confident about Man United. I see progress. It is frustrating when you draw a game that you feel like you should win. But I see progress. You can't win every single game. We've drawn against Nottingham Forest loads of times. We've lost against Nottingham Forest in the past. We've even lost against Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford with Sir Alex Ferguson in charge. When you remember when Collymore bent one in the corner at Old Trafford? Yeah, that one. Yeah. So look, we do have these games sometimes, and you know it happens. But obviously, because we've won so many difficult games, guys, keep it football, guys. If we Idris Elba is a crap actor. Because we won so many games, guys, Idris Elba is like watching paint dry. He's a crap actor, mate. Keep it football, guys. It is football. You're swaying off topic. Keep it football. This is not the movie channel. Guys, so at the end of the day, yeah, look, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks spin. As they say, football's an education. You will have a game against Tottenham. We might go to Tottenham and we might win. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, keep it football, mate. Keep it on topic. Keep the topic going, guys. It's about football, not about Idris Elba or anything like that. Keep it football. Otherwise, you know what's happening, mate. It's blockage. Absolutely. So, guys, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And then you come out with that. Big up, Sal. LT. I spoke about Licha Martinez 1,000 times, Ahmed. Big up, Sal. You can tell there is an improvement because the Forest game felt like a bad day in the office and missed opportunity. And honestly, in previous season, we could have lost the game. Yeah, look, ultimately, we have high standards. We want to win games. Of course we do, LT. But it is representative of where we are, that we played badly, so to speak, and we drew. Right, we showed good character, and in the end, we could have won the game. In fact, we should have won the game. We got it cleared off the line. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and I would say that we got it cleared off the line. And guys, I don't know what Gibbs has against Man United. I don't know, but he keeps doing it against Man United, clearing the ball off the line. He did it last season. It's just annoying. When I see things like that, when I see the ball cleared off the line, I think just a little bit that way and it's in the back of the net, just a little bit that way. That's what I would say. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, guys, absolutely. But yeah, we move on. And it becomes a good result if we beat Tottenham. And if we beat Tottenham, we need to beat Tottenham. Now, a little bit of, guys, a little bit of feedback. And let me just read Lawrence's comment. Of course, Ruben needs a tactical assistant manager to advise the subs. He was a bit scared of decisions on Saturday. I spoke about this, Lawrence, a couple of weeks ago about a number 2. Even Alex Ferguson had a reliable number 2, whether that was Carlos Quiros, whether that was Phelan, whether that was Brian Kidd. We always had a number 2 that can whisper in your ear, because when you're focusing on the game, you're focused on the game, but sometimes an assistant would see things that you won't see. You know what I mean? I agree, Lawrence, that you need someone to say, do you know what, Ruben, he's getting a little bit, look, we need to bring on Solidify. And I think that would be a good idea. And it's not ego, it's not a sign of weakness. It's not that you're a bad manager. It's that everyone needs that guy on his side, that number 2, just like Ruben Amorim does, just like Jose Mourinho, Sir Alex Ferguson, others did. We do have it, but he's on the bench most of the time. He doesn't get involved. He just sits on the bench and he doesn't get involved, of course. Would you take a draw at Spurs? I don't think it'd be the end of the world, Cunha, because after the game against Spurs, we've got a run of games that we can quite possibly win. As long as we don't lose the game, I think it'd be good. But the fact that we drew against Forest, and if we draw against Spurs, I think it's going to be like a little bit, I know we'll be unbeaten in 5, but I think that Spurs are there for the taking, my friend. Spurs are there for the taking, and I think that we should be aiming at beating Spurs, and hopefully we will. Do I think we'll beat Spurs? It remains to be seen. I'm going to have to see the lineup and stuff like that. What I do think is that Ruben Amorim needs to change it, absolutely. And as Benny said there, keeping the momentum is what's most important. Keep the momentum, keep the game going, keep it strong, guys. Absolutely. I would say, Kenny, good morning. No way, joint Spurs low. Win is a must. Come on, Kenny. That's what we want, man. And I'm going to be doing my prediction show on Thursday, guys. Don't forget to join me on Thursday. Again, I just want to say thank you to all the legends that messaged me the other day because I couldn't do the watch along. I had family issues. I had to travel, fly, everything, guys. I still bought you Chatterbox, though. I came back and I bought you Chatterbox, guys. So thank you, everyone, for your well wishes and stuff like that. I really appreciate you. You know, life happens sometimes. But you know what, guys? Glory, glory, Man United. We're going to get it, guys. We're going to get it in. Man United, the world is our oyster. Absolutely. No Al Pacino. The world is our oyster. Scarface, of course, as we're talking about movies, of course, guys. But, guys, thank you so much. Have a great day. I will be back for Chatterbox. It will be at an earlier time, guys. I will be doing Chatterbox around, I would say, 2:30 p.m. Keep your notifications on. I am on Judge Mo's channel at 2 p.m. UK time. UK time. I will be doing Chatterbox. Sorry, Chatterbox will be earlier. UK time, Chatterbox will be 1:30, 12:30, 11:30, 10:30. 10:30. 10:30 is Chatterbox, guys. So join me for that. 2 p.m. UK time on Judge Mo's channel, guys. So don't forget to subscribe to Judge Mo. Don't forget to keep your notifications on. I'll be writing the updates on my YouTube, of course. I will be on his channel representing Man United as I always do, of course, guys. And I represent Man United with chest as well. We represent Man United with chest. That's what we do. We don't just go, no, 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 no. You got to represent with chest, guys. And you got to have knowledge, absolutely, because you can throw the knowledge at people whenever you like. It's great, isn't it? Guys, have a great day. I'll see you later anyway. Have a peaceful one. And thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to smash a like on the video. We need 50 likes, guys, absolutely. Where's Ephraim when you need him? Anyway, take it easy, guys. Have a great day. Peace.